Lyon-smith.
I'm a little afraid about getting too close to this mic because, you know, when you start off the open mic and you lick it, makes you worry a little bit. Where have we comedians been? Okay. So I guess one thing to start out with is I'm a little skinny. How skinny? Well, I'm 6'4" and I'm 100 pounds. I'm very skinny. I'm too skinny. What that means is my least favorite kind of weather is windy. I just sort of like blown away. Too cold, I can't feel anything. Too hot, my bones melt, and those are the only things that are there. So I kind of need this. Yeah. My version of, like, you know, I dream at night of like bulking up and being like Jack Skellington. Yeah, I want to be big like him one day. You know, like Captain America pre-transformation is my idea of like getting big. Or like, you know when people say the phrase hulking out? Yeah, I could go for Bruce Bannering out. That'd be fine with me. Like, I don't need to go full Hulk, just like a nerdy scientist. That'd be nice. There it is. It's good. I think it's weird too because I didn't realize how dangerous it could be to be this size. I went to the doctor recently and where it was explained to me. So my normal doctor is this kind of like young, buff, Jackie Chan looking guy. Really great. And I went in just for a routine checkup, and he had been replaced by like a potato version of himself, which made me worry, one, about his medical advice, and two, about his sentience, because most potatoes aren't alive. So he's there, and I'm in the waiting room, and, you know, I go in to get the exam done, and he's kind of looking at me, and he goes, "So I've noticed you got these kind of long, strange-looking fingers, and your back is all curved, and your vision's all fucked up. So, you know..." And I look at him and I go, "Is there a diagnosis at the end of this, or are you just kind of being mean for the fun of it?" And he's like, "Well, you remind me of a patient I had about 10 years ago who had Marfan's syndrome." And I go, "You're making that up to sell me pills, aren't you?" So I was like in that mindset, and he goes, no, that's not what it is at all. So Marfan's syndrome is basically what happens where your main heart valve starts leaking blood, and eventually, later on in life, leads to a fatal heart attack where your heart explodes. Boom, like a water balloon. Bam! Like, have you ever seen a JFK documentary where they recreate his head exploding with a watermelon? That's what it's like. That's right. We have a splash zone at tonight's open mic. Don't be afraid. No, they explain that to me, and I go, that sounds really made up. And he goes, "Well, you are tall and skinny." And I was like, "Well, you got me there. Gonna go in for heart tests." So I go into a heart testing facility, and I didn't realize how out of place I would be in one of these locations, because I walked in, and everybody is 94 years old. They're like writing their wills in the waiting room, and they're like coughing up blood onto the will right there. And I sort of like skip in, and I'm like, "Yeah, let's get this heart exam started. It's gonna be fun." I figure out what they're doing is they're doing an ultrasound of my heart, which means they're going to basically like lube up a bit of plastic and rub it all over me until they figure out if I'm dying. So I go in to do the exam, and the nurse that's doing the exam, she's lubing up, and she goes, "Oh, your name's Owen. That's a really nice name." And I go, "Yeah, thanks. It's good." And she goes, "Yeah, we were going to name my son Owen, but my husband didn't go for it. Yeah, he wanted to name the son David, which is fine, but it's no Owen." And I'm like, "Okay, can we do this after the exam? Because there are more important things on my mind right now." So she starts rubbing me with the plastic. I don't know how doctor stuff works. She started rubbing me with the plastic, it's lubed up. And I hear on the machine just like a thump, 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 thump. And without thinking, I say just the dumbest thing I could have said. I was like, "Oh, that's my heart," which just, what else would it be? And she goes, "Yeah, I guess." I'm like, "You guess? What the fuck do you mean you guess? What's happening?" I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, "Oh, surely you're not guessing. I mean, you must know what's there, right?" And she goes, "No." I'm basically just a trained lube monkey. That's all I do. I just lube up this stick, and I don't do anything else. I'm like, this is going great. So we get finished up with the exam, and I'm leaving, and she just starts walking away. And I'm like, "Excuse me, when do I find out if I'm dying?" And she's like, "I don't know, whenever a cardiologist reads this sheet of paper." I'm like, "Well, we are in his office, right? I mean, this is technically where can we just find him? He should be here, right?" And she's like, "I don't know, he'll look at it when he's free." I'm like, "What do you mean when he's free? Is he on fucking vacation? What's happening?" Like, the doctor's office. So it turns out that this super large heart discharge disease is fun because it's genetic. So I actually had to get genetics testing done as well. So I go in for the genetics testing after this, and 3 people walk in. There's the doctor, right, a med student, and then Lauren. To this day, I still have no idea what Lauren does. All I know is that she walked into the room, shook my hand, nodded at me. The doctor went, "This is Lauren," and then she sat in the corner of the room with a clipboard, just looking at me and licking her lips. So, I'm fine, but Lauren, maybe not. Have a good night.